Hey everyone, and welcome to the DC Ultimate Recap, the only show where you can go to get all of your comic books spoiled for you so that you can go get the new comic books as they come out. We also like to give you some bad jokes, fake advertising, and random co-hosts. Today I'm going to be joined by Caitlin McAtee, that sea monster, and Rob from Comics Explained. But enough of that. Let's go ahead and start with the top of our list, Justice League of America, number 1, The Rise of Havoc. Havoc has arrived on the planet because he's convinced that the world needs world domination, because they are ill-prepared for the oncoming storm. Batman, in his attempt to stop Havoc's plea for world president, puts together the Justice League of America with a bunch of people that you would never expect to be on a Justice League. Two individuals, namely Lobo and Ray Palmer's teaching assistant, decide that they can fight against Havoc by shrinking down and going inside of him. Havoc, to counter this, grabs Ray Palmer's teaching assistant by the throat and tells him that he's going to cut his head off for his own safety. The most counterproductive way ever to provide safety for someone. But don't worry! Batman steps forward at the end of the comic telling Havoc that he's here to be taken prisoner so that Havoc doesn't kill the young lad.
In Action Comics 974, we discover that not only has Superman adopted this Earth's Fortress of Solitude, but is still hanging on to his original when his home security system notifies him of a breach. Unable to worry about it right that second, Superman instead focuses on stabilizing Lana Lang by placing her inside Kryptonian battle armor, whose healing factor regenerates Lana faster than her new powers can break her down. Meanwhile, the cautionary creeper tale between Lois and other Clark continues through a series of unfortunate events that starts with Clark showing unannounced at Lois's home and then starts to slowly escalate with showing up with a limo instead of walking and then canceling their restaurant reservations at Boca de Bipo, to Le super fancy Italian French restaurant that I totally forgot the name of, and finally culminating into a random and very creepy marriage proposal. Lois quickly flees the incredibly nice restaurant, leaving Clark to accept rejection about as well as Sang-Woo from Killing Stalking, or whatever other fictional stalker that Tana Mojo has brought up. In the end, creepy Clark follows Lois back to her home with Superman, and upon discovering that Lois is not only married to his doppelganger, but has a son with him, he naturally has a psychotic break.
Next up, we have Detective Comics 951, which is a part of the League of Shadows story arc. We open with the total brutality on torture and interrogation, with one of Jacob Kane's sergeants being helplessly, brutally beaten down by Shiva. Jumping to the present day, Batman finds the corrupt mayor of Gotham nailed to the wall in a crucifix cross-style situation in which the police show up and automatically assume that the vigilante that has been saving the city for all of these years must have killed the mayor, and there is no better explanation for it. As Batman escapes from that, we then skip forward a little bit as Gotham is now overrun by Joker toxin, even though Joker's nowhere to be found, and of course, this terrifies Gotham. As it should. I mean, it's Joker toxin. Trying desperately to link all of these events together, Bats and Batwoman go to visit her father, Jacob Kane, who warns them that it is officially the League of Shadows, and they are now moving in on the town. He warns them that they will soon be surrounded by so many killers that they won't know what's going on until it's too late. But you know what's not too late? It is not too late to get yourself a tall glass of Jitters Coffee. If you happen to find yourself in Central City, home of the Flash, and you want to get really hyped up on caffeine, you get Jitters Coffee. Now, I couldn't go get the Jitters Coffee actual plastic container because it doesn't actually exist, but Jitters Coffee is amazing. Tastes very similar to Starbucks. I'm not quite sure why, but Jitters Coffee is amazing.
I love me a Super Flash Frappuccino. It's made with Speed Force and hipster tears.
In Batgirl number 8, Barbara Gordon goes on a date with the Penguin's son. That's right, Cobblepot Jr. is the CEO of a company called Safe Streets, and while he might like Babs as more than just a friend, she has some hard investigating to do with her new bae, especially since many of the city's homeless have gone missing thanks to his mysterious new app.
The thrilling finale of escaping the grave continues in Batman Beyond number 5. Upon realizing that Bruce Wayne is still alive, Terry attempts to track down his location and terminal, the villain who is using the comatose Wayne to gain access to various all-powerful technologies or something. As he carts Wayne around the establishment, he reveals his ultimate plan to his shadowy and obedient henchman, which goes something like this. Step 1. Acquire Bruce Wayne from the rubble. Step 2. Trick the Jokers into thinking that Bruce Wayne is the Joker so that they'll give him all their money. Step 3. It gets a little vague at that point. Step 4. Profit off of all of the world's information? Maybe? I don't know. While in the middle of step 3, Terry arrives to save Bruce. In the midst of a brawl with Terminal, the mysterious henchman carts Bruce away and up to the rooftops. He speaks to Bruce, laughs a little. The sound of the laugh wakens Bruce from his coma and puts him into a complete state of fear. His strangled voice whispers out, "Fuck no!" as he's pushed off of the roof by the mysterious henchman. Terry does manage to save Bruce, but the henchman escapes. While the two villains make their escape, Henchman is finally sick and tired of listening to Airport Terminal's BS and sucks it up and kills him, preventing him from making any more ill-conceived plot lines. The henchman removes his fashionable headwear, and we get a glimpse of our dear old friend, the Joker.
Next up, we have Hal Jordan in the Green Lanterns number 15. In this particular book, we have to reevaluate the squad goals for Hal and his crew. We start off the book by having John Stewart try to lead the Corps to greatness by showing his military expertise as he tries to show the Sinestro Corps why they should be working with the Green Lanterns. Yellows and greens working together. Never thought I'd see the day. We also go to Hal and Kyle and discover that they are on a mission to actually save Saint Walker, even though the Guardians did not find it important to fill them in that they were looking for Saint Walker. It turns out that Saint Walker is in an eternal battle against a giant monster-headed thing with multiple skulls for heads that can tap into Hal and Kyle and make them see their greatest dreams and then rip it away. No one gets hope in the Green Lantern comic books. Don't worry though, Saint Walker proves that hope prevails over all because all is well. And if you're wondering about Guy Gardner, because we've touched on all of the other Green Lanterns in the normal human Green Lantern Corps, Guy Gardner's off trying to make the weirdest space buddy cop movie ever as he's attempting to battle against Arkillo and Amanda Man Fisticuffs fight.
Wonder Woman is still hopping between timelines faster than Doc Brown during a thunderstorm. But in the end, she's freed from the asylum. Her lasso of truth is returned to her. And it is amazing. Almost amazing. At Central City Jitters Coffee. Specialty blended from ethically sourced coffee beans, whatever that means. Central City Jitters provides a bold, smooth flavor that'll start your day in a flash.
In Flash 17, we see the finale to Rogues Reloaded, in which we discover that the Rogues can actually be a supervillain squad, who also allows Captain Cold to hang out with them. In classic comic book fashion, the Flash faces off against the Rogues in one last epic fight. There's plenty of heroic and villainous dialogue as Captain Cold tries to convince Flash that he's only a hero for himself, he's not doing it to save anybody. Though the Rogues do profess a deep love for Central City, the Flash eventually pummels them all down, showing what it truly means to be a superhero and what trait you should have: altruism. Of course, at the end of all of this, we discover that Golden Glider is actually a hard-ass mother trucker because she's the only one that picked up a gun and tried to kill the Flash. Speaking of the Flash in Central City, did I already tell you guys about Jitters Coffee? Are you trying to outrun some zoomies? Are you trying to get to Star Labs before, the entire apocalypse can basically happen? Go to Jitters Coffee and get yourself a tall glass of Jitters Coffee. If you hadn't noticed, if I keep drinking this, I'm just gonna talk faster and faster and faster, and that's how Jitters Coffee works. It just totally goes into your veins, totally patches into your brain.
Do you have trouble waking up in the morning? Well, worry no more. Get yourself down to Central City Jitters and we'll get you up in a flash. Other pun that I haven't used yet. All I know is this is really, really good coffee, and I have already gotten so much done today, and it's only 7 a.m. How much more can I do in the day if I drink even more of this? Now, this may seem like a really dangerous amount of caffeine, but trust me, I could have more. I've never been awake this early. Wonder when my fiance is gonna wake up. I'm jonesing for coffee because I'm gonna fall asleep at any moment, and I can't let the darkness take me. My heart is pounding so fast. Why did I do this to myself? In Suicide Squad number 12, we see inside the mind of a dying Amanda Waller. In her final moments, she thinks not of the children that are sobbing by her coffin, but of her enemies. With a final "fuck you, I'm Amanda Waller," she slips into the blackness, leaving everyone else to scramble to find the identity of her killer. But while the rest of the squad celebrates and Waller's replacement becomes quickly overwhelmed with the rising power and chaos of Rustam, Harley Quinn enlists the help of her very own fangirl, Hack, who discovers that Waller's most likely killer is Deadshot.
And now we are at the end of the DC Ultimate Recap. I hope you guys enjoyed this particular episode, but don't worry, there is 2 issues that we did not touch on, namely Constantine Hellblazer and Deathstroke number 13. And I'm going to tell you in single little sentences what exactly happened in those comics. In Hellblazer number 7, we see the beginning of the Smokeless Fire story arc, in which Mercury and Constantine decide to pull together their efforts in an attempt to find a notorious Djinn. Over in Deathstroke number 13, we see the second part of Twilight, in which Raptor, that guy from the Nightwing comic books that we all kind of enjoyed, and he was very quickly discovered to be a villain, even though I think that they could have gone on for very many more issues before we actually had the big reveal that he was a villain. Anyway, that guy Raptor, he's back fighting against Deathstroke as they're both trying to get the Icon suit, which I still don't fully understand what it does, but it seemingly gives Deathstroke and his family various powers. Either way, Raptor's got it, Deathstroke has to stomp him. I hope you guys enjoyed this particular episode, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe to this channel to get an Ultimate DC recap every Monday and an Ultimate Marvel recap every Tuesday, and then on Wednesday you go buy the new comics. That's how this whole thing is worked out. Anyway, don't forget to go pick yourself up a bag of Jitters Coffee if you're ever in Central City. That's the only location it could be, and if there is an actual place called Jitters Coffee, we have no idea. Why? Because we didn't do research to see if a fictional DC property was actually real. Anyway, go check out Caitlin's channel if you liked what she brought to you today, and don't forget to go say hi to Rob over at Comics Explained, and on top of all of that, I will see you next time, right here.